There is nothing wrong with your internet. Do not attempt to adjust your settings. We are controlling the podcast. We control the squealing and the screams. We can make your heart flutter, your eyes blur from tears, or sharpen your mind to crystal clarity. For the next hour, sit back. We are in control of what you hear. We repeat, there is nothing wrong with your settings. You are about to experience the awe and mystery known as the female mind. You are now entering the Fangirl Zone. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Fangirl Zone. I'm Sean, Fangirl S, and today we're talking Dirk Gently. So today, my co-host, as always, is Miss Jessica.
Hello.
Yay! Episode 2. Fan of Wet Circles. Because that's not a weird title or anything. Let's see. Dirk, Todd, and Farah are happily reunited and begin to investigate what Dirk believes is the case. They follow strange clues and discover the body in the car that fell out of the tree connected to one of Sheriff Hobbs' cold case. That did not even sound right. Cold cases. There we go, Sean. Which concerns a missing couple and their missing son. So, could this be the child that Dirk was told to
Find
the boy? That's really random, and it could be any boy. It could be Superboy. We don't know.
We have no idea. It could be Spider-Man.
It could. So, we are back in Wyndhamore. I swear I thought they said Wyndham.
Yeah, I was like, wow.
I had to listen to it a little more. I'm like, Rucker. And apparently Prince Silas, who did not know last episode he was a prince, tells his mother that Trouse died by hitting his head on a rock and then falling on other rocks. And apparently she's not buying it.
Right.
So...
He's not a convincing liar.
No, he was really bad at it. He does mention the prophecy again, and the queen is yelling, there's no such thing as Dirk Gently. Well, we know that's not true.
Maybe not in their world.
True. So who is Dirk? Why is he so important to this other realm? But we're back in our world, which we're assuming is our world.
Yeah.
Todd and Farah are looking at the car. They realize it's a brand new car. It's got like 42 miles on it. And suddenly there's a noise in the trunk. So they're like, all right, I'm going to open the trunk. And Farah's covering Todd, which, okay, like Spider Monkey jumping out of there, you know, not going to be that easy. But whatever.
That's true.
Todd opens it, and it's not a Spider Monkey. In fact, it's Dirk.
It's totally Dirk.
And I love it because then they celebrate. They're jumping up and down. They're like, yeah, it's you, it's me, ah. And Farah's just looking like, how the hell did this happen?
No, for real. How did you get in there?
I was so sure that this is no way connected.
Mm-hmm.
How is this happening?
Right.
So Dirk starts telling the story of what happened with Mona Wilder. And I love it because Todd's like, who is Mona? And Dirk looks at him like, duh, that is the person who I was talking about.
I just said her name.
How did you not get slapped? Like, a lot. So the sheriff shows up and he's like, I have to arrest you guys, but I've never done it, so be cool. And they all look at Farah because she's still holding her gun.
She's still holding her gun.
And she's like, oh, sorry. And she drops it. Would you never drop a gun? Drop a loaded gun.
Right. You kind of like gently set it down and kick it towards the cop, right? That's what you see in TV shows.
Well, you just don't drop it. I'll tell you that.
Right.
That's not good gun safety.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
No. So, suddenly we're back at Blackwing, and Friedkin is ranting and raving. How did he get out? Blah, blah, blah. Wait, maybe he's invisible. And then he's, like, doing these weird lunges, like, trying to grab the air, like, suddenly there's going to be somebody there. Yeah, okay, Jessica just had the same look on her face that Friedkin's assistant had. And the guy had to be like, no, I seen the tape. He's not invisible. Somehow he got away. And then there's a wet circle on the bed. Weird, it was a perfect circle.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, the circle thing's coming back.
Mm-hmm.
And Friedkin, oh God, this man. Because this is a little ahead of it, but Friedkin's like, did he pee himself invisible? I'm like, did it smell like urine? Because he smelled the wet sheet. Oh, good God, this man. How, you know what? You mentioned it last episode. How is he able to, like, manage to breathe without somebody telling him constantly?
I have no idea. This dude's like, an actual imbecile.
Oh, goodness. That's something else. We cut to Susie, who's in bed. And her husband's like, get out of bed. She's like, I'm sick. And he's being a jerk. Oh, well, enjoy your spa day. Really? If your wife is sick, you're going to be a jerk? Mm-hmm. Jerk, whatever. But he leaves. Everybody's gone. And she's suddenly like, oh, I'm okay. Basically, she wanted to stay home and see what's going on with the book.
Right.
And she's able to do all this stuff because she's able to read the book.
It was very TARDIS-y. Like, you open the book, all the letters rearrange themselves so she can read it.
Yes.
It was very interesting.
Yes, it was so strange. Because she used it to clean the blood off her clothes and give herself a makeover, give herself abs, clean the house. And it's like, okay.
Fix her limp.
Yeah. I fixed her. She was jumping on a trampoline. Which, I can't blame her for that, but you're going to clean your house with it? I don't know. I guess if you live with these two guys that are a giant pain in the butt, maybe. But that was basically her storyline through most of this episode.
Right.
She's like, okay, what can I do? How can I make changes and not have to do a whole lot?
Right.
See, watching all the shows we watched, magic comes with a price. I'd be worried.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe not so much in this world. Well, we're back at the station. And all of a sudden we see Dirk handcuffed to pull outside the station.
No real reason why. We don't know.
And the deputy's like, oh my God, did Hobbs arrest you? And he's like, no, them inside, not me. I'm just kind of like with them, but not with them. I'm like a cousin, but not really. It's like, all right, Dirk, stop explaining.
Right.
Stop. But Hobbs comes running out to talk to his deputy, Tina, and is super excited because they found Marina Cardenas. And obviously we have no idea what this is. And they're like, oh my God, Marina Cardenas? The 67? Oh my God. And they're excited and they run inside. And Dirk's like, hey, it sounds like you have something exciting. Maybe I can... Oh, I need the bathroom. And they leave him chained up outside, which is weird. Not chained up, but handcuffed. But either way, why is he outside?
We still haven't figured that out.
But apparently it's like the biggest case ever in Bergsburg. So, these people are super excited because nothing happens in Bergsburg. Right. That's why the deputy could be high and drunk and
sleeping
everything else. Yeah. Well, now let's go find Amanda and Vogel. Amanda is trying to get a vision, and Vogel's standing above her with, like, a golf club. And I was, like, watching this going, what the hell is going on? I'm totally this guy who's coming out of the restaurant to throw trash away. Because she's like, are you guys okay? She's like, this is private! Because he just, like, swings so it's, like, barely misses her face. But she kind of has a vision, but not really. Right. Because it wasn't really stressed out enough.
Right. She doesn't believe he will really hurt her. Because he won't really hurt her.
Right. And Vogel's like, I'm so sorry, boss. I'm trying to be scary.
I love him so much. Osric, you're great. You're so great.
Oh, it was so funny. Because he's like, I can be way scarier. Like wasps or stuff. Like,
I adore him. That was great. Their whole, like, dynamic is fantastic.
It was cute. But I guess, he managed to get her away in the first episode. Or first season. So whatever makes it work, because he's still like a psychic vampire who can help her when she has a vision, just not quite to the extent of all 3 of the 4.
Right.
This doesn't sound right saying it that way, but we have to go back to Dirk and Farah and the gang.
Right.
Who's with Hobbs. And Hobbs is basically not really questioning Farah, because Farah is just kind of on a rant at this point. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, it was funny, because she's talking to him, and she's like, well, that's not so bad, right? Because that's, like, way less than murder. And she just keeps going, and she's, like, straightening the pens, because he has his pens, like, all over his desk.
A big pile of pens, all different colors. She's flipping out. It's fantastic.
So I'm thinking she has some OCD there, because she's like, how can you leave your pens like this?
How can you live like this? This is horrible.
And as this is happening, Tina has Todd in another room, and we're assuming she's questioning him. And Todd is going on, well, you haven't even given me a phone call. You haven't even read me my rights. So what is this? What is this? What's going on? And all of a sudden she's like, are you Todd Broxman from the Mexican wedding? And he's like, or Mexican funeral, sorry. And he's just like, what? And she's like, you're like a legend. And he's like, you're a fan? Like, obviously this was not something he was expecting.
It was really funny.
And so, talk about small town, because apparently nothing's happening and they're totally cool with everything. And this is where it gets even funnier. Because Hobbs goes outside to talk to Dirk, who's handcuffed to the pole. And Dirk is telling him everything about the last case. Like, every detail. And Hobbs is following along. And understood. I'm like, wait a second.
And seems totally nonplussed by it.
Right.
Not worried at all.
And I'm like, hold on a second. How is he able to know? He even knows what holistic is. And I loved it because, you know, Dirk's like, I think I love you.
It was so great.
But the fact that he was really able to understand, and he's like, oh, yeah, everything's connected. I get that. And he's like, well, we have to find the boy. It's like, oh, okay. Like, Hobbs is totally cool with this. I don't understand. Because if some random person just started talking like this, I would not be this cool with it.
No, I'd be submitting them for a psych eval. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, I'd be a little worried.
Or at least backing away slowly.
Right. But no, Hobbs seemed super excited. And he's like, yeah, you know, I'm named after a detective myself. My first name's Sherlock. Guess who? Is there, like, only one Sherlock? Like, obviously different, you know, incarnations of him, movie-wise, but...
Right.
There's really only one Sherlock. If you don't know who he's named after, it's kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
Just putting that one out there. So, Dirk goes inside. They put him in the cell. She's like, well, we need to keep you here for a little bit. And Dirk's like, okay, I'll be here. Like he's going somewhere else. But telling Farrah and Todd then, okay, so we have a case. So I kind of have to know what's going on, but I have no information. We need to find the boy. And Farrah is going on and on with really good questions, actually.
Oh my god, yeah.
She is totally the detective here. And I love it because Dirk's like, these are all good questions. And he's like, but I have no answers. So all we know is to find the boy. And then Todd all of a sudden looks at him and is like, I forgot how annoying you are.
It was great.
I think we all have that friend
Yes.
who you can be around for so long, then you're like, oh, okay, I need a timeout from you. I really need a timeout. So we're back to Amanda and Vogel, where Amanda's all of a sudden like, hey, I have an idea. And there's train tracks, which, you know, my husband just loved.
Are you not into trains?
And all of a sudden she, like, lays down. So my question is, was it a real train? It had to be, right? Because Vogel was freaking out.
Right.
But she lays down so the train goes over, which, first of all, the very front of the train would probably not go over her like that.
No, it didn't seem like likely.
Yeah.
It didn't seem like she would survive if it did.
No. And she gets her vision after everything, because when she gets up, she's bloodied, or she thinks she is, but she has a vision. She knows where they need to go. So at least that helped them. But let me see, our gang is getting out of jail.
That's good.
They don't exactly have a get out of jail free, but the sheriff and deputy decide, we're going to work on a case together.
And we're going to give you some deputy clothes and some weird clothes from some dude who stripped inexplicably after some weird thing that happened.
Yeah.
So for a bunch of people who have nothing exciting going on, like some random naked dude's running down the road and Dirk's wearing his 70s clothes.
I think it's later.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah. No, he has a jacket right now.
Okay, that's right.
But, yeah. But yes, it's like, here, have this jacket, because it's kind of chilly. It's like, okay. This guy is, like, way too into Dirk, and it's like, we're going to be best friends forever. So, God, we're back with Friedkin. This guy, you know what? When people say I can't, I totally understand it with him now, because this guy has got to be a phenomenal actor.
I bet he's a great guy. I bet
he plays stupid so well.
I bet he's a really smart guy, and I bet he's really, really well spoken.
He's probably got like a genius IQ, and
he's a good-looking young guy, but he literally, if I never saw his face again in the show, I'd be fine, because he's the worst.
He is horrible in this, because he goes back to talk with Ken and Rapunzel. I love it because Rapunzel's just like, what the hell am I doing here? I'm a dog.
I can't talk
I'm
anymore.
dirty.
I no longer have a person inside of me. I'm now just a dog. What the crap's going on? Where's my kibble?
Right. I loved it, though, when he's talking to Ked. And Ked's like, all right, so we need a little quid pro quo. And he's like, dude, I don't speak Spanish. I'm like, oh,
you know what that reminded? You know what that reminded me of? Like, it really did. And I feel like the only person I would like better playing Friedkin is T.J. Miller, because I was actually thinking about Big Hero 6, where he's like, welcome to mi casa. It's French for front door. And Honey Lemon's like, it's really not.
Oh my god. You know what? Yeah, I can probably see him in that position too. But let's jump back to the Scooby Gang, because it's kind of what's happening, right?
So, yeah, I feel that.
The sheriff's taking them to the farmhouse, and they see the doors broken out now. It's like, oh my gosh, what's going on? So Farrah and Hobbs go inside. Why? Tina, Dirk, and Todd go to the barn.
Why?
Yes. Well, I love it, because at this point, Tina's like, is Dirk being holistic, rude, or is he just dumb? And Todd's like, well, it's kind of a mixed bag. And as Farrah and Hobbs are going to go in the house, he hands her a flashlight, like a big mag light. And she's like...
And he's got one, too. He's not
why do you
her...
have an extra flashlight?
And he's just like, I got lots of pockets. I got to use all of them.
Yeah, I like all these loops on this belt. And I can't have multiple guns, so why not?
I love it.
Like, really? It's a why not situation? Okay, then.
I have all this space. There's so much room for activities.
On my belt. He explains, we finally find out what the heck the 67 is. Because Farrah's like, oh, it looks like there was a fire. And he's like, no, there's a power surge in 67. It was a huge thing. Electrical pulse, fried all the electronics. Suddenly all the farms failed, and it totally ruined the power grid. So pretty much everybody left. So it makes me wonder really how many people are actually in this town. Or is it just like a majority of people left, so it's like super small town, but spread out kind of thing, like unincorporated. Which, of course, we don't know anything. And Farrah's like, is this connected to the boat? Because, of course, that's what I'm thinking. Why the hell is that boat in the middle of nowhere?
Why is there a boat?
It's like, oh, no, that's been there at least 10 years beforehand. Again, okay, that was very specific. Why are we saying this specific information?
Right.
It's got to mean something, right? Will it mean something? Probably not. I feel like it's going to be a red herring just thrown in.
I don't know what to think about it. The weird name of the boat and all that jazz. We talked about that last episode.
And there's one phone in this house still connected. Like, all the other phone jacks were actually ripped out of the house, but there's one random phone, big red phone, that's not working. But it's like, why is this here? But nothing else is. That's weird.
Right.
And then they're like, hey, wait, muddy footprints. We must keep following these. I don't know if I'd follow them. I'd probably be like, maybe no.
Right.
Because there's a lot of weirdness already. I think I need to get out of here.
I'm out.
But they're following it, talking about how weird it is. Thanks, Farrah. Thank you, Captain Obvious. I do appreciate that. But as they're in a room, they're like, suddenly there's just the footprints in the middle of the room and nothing else, and then we see the mage. Like, all of a sudden he's behind Farrah as she's talking about her life, why she, knows all this stuff. She didn't go into law enforcement, yada, yada, blah, blah. And then she turns and the mage is gone. How the hell is he disappearing? I mean, obviously.
Well, and did she sense him, or was she just turning? I was wondering about that. Like, do you feel like
she said she thought she felt somebody. Yeah. So I assumed he was there, unless he wasn't, like, physically there, almost like astral projection or something weird. Could be. But yes, he's gone. And hey, look at Dirk sees the wet semicircle.
Still wet. Hours later.
Yeah. Well, at least 12 hours is what Farrah ended up saying. Oh. Because she was talking about it raining, so there was no rain when they were there. Mm-hmm. So something had happened. So it's been a while, and and Todd's like, "This means something, right? Right?" And he's like, "Oh, maybe to fans of wet circles. Are you kidding me?" That's just kind of a jerk things to say. And then Tina looks at Todd, so he basically ignores everything you say and does whatever he wants.
Yeah.
Like, well, yeah, some random shit, basically. So, suddenly, Dirk is on the second level of the barn, and Todd's like, how did you get up there? He's like, oh, I climbed a thing, assuming he means a ladder. How? Because there was, like, partial rungs, but most of them were gone or broken. It's like, what? How the hell did you get up there?
Totally unclear how he's doing anything.
Yes,
really.
It's true, because it's Dirk. But suddenly he blows a hole in like the barn wall with a gun that shoots nothing but like wind. It's not even sound.
And no moving parts.
Right. Which is weird.
Super strange. It just looks like a megaphone almost with a trigger.
Yes.
And somehow it's like a energy
Stuff comes out.
projection weapon. I don't know. Very weird.
Yeah. It's not sound.
No, not sound.
Yeah. Just like air. Okay. And now we're back at Blackwing and Friedkin and his idiocy. Like, it knows no bounds. Because he's with the Rowdy Three. Actually, only the three of them. So they're all talking to each other. Like, I didn't know you were here. I thought I smelled something. I was sleeping this whole time. He's like, this whole time? He's like, I was really tired. And it's like a Stooges episode.
It's very weird shorthand between the three of them. Obviously, they're like,
So Friedkin's like, put two of them back. They're like, which ones? They're like, the ones that don't make sense. And I thought that was funny because it was Grips who's like, oh, that's me. Like, right away. And then I think the other one's Cross, that's Zach Santiago, who's also showing up in Ghost Wars on one of the shows we talk about on Sci-Fi Talk. But so does Martin, who we keep up. That's Michael Eklund, who we love him on Winona Earp. I'm so glad that we get to see him again. And he is the one that seems to be the leader and makes most sense. And he's always, every time we've seen him up until now, obviously he looks a little crazy right now, because they've been starving them and basically had them asleep for, like, at this point, what?
2 months. Better than
75
2 months, yeah.
days or so. And he's always been really kind of quiet and looks really thoughtful. Mm-hmm. Like, so we know he's the one who's really thinking everything through.
Right.
But it was probably not a good idea to starve them. Because, well, he's mad now and he wants to eat. Well, thank you. Thank you for bringing something to eat. But this is, of course, after he tells them, when we feed on our own kind, we don't hurt them. But regular people, not so much. And Friedkin does not understand this. He's standing there like, what? Well, we eat neurological energy. You got that, right? And starts sucking on the energy from Friedkin, which, I don't know, he might actually starve to death. I don't know how well he's going to be fed off of Friedkin.
Yeah, no. If brains were dynamite, he couldn't blow his nose, so...
But he's doing it until he basically gets frozen, like a shock. And this comes from Mr. Priest, who we had heard Friedkin kind of in passing say, get me Mr. Priest. I thought he meant a priest, but apparently this is the guy's name. And this is one of our other new ones for the season, Alan Tudyk, who's... We love. And geeky appreciation for everything that he's ever done. Yes.
He's fantastic.
Of course, most of you probably know him from, I assume, Firefly. And, of course, Con Man, that's his show, which is now coming on to Sci-Fi. So, if you haven't watched either of those, why?
He's been in a million things, though. We could go back to A Knight's Tale. He was fantastic in that.
Oh, I loved him in that. And he does the voice of King Candy in Wreck-It Ralph.
Oh.
So, he's great.
My husband was, making kind of a reference to that the other day. And I was like, oh, King Candy. He's like, was I being King Candy or Turbo? I'm like, they're the same person. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, in case you didn't know.
You just played yourself.
So, we're back with the Scooby Gang. And Tina, Dirk, and Todd decide they're going to go try the gun on a tree. Because, at least you're not going to hurt somebody if you're shooting at a tree.
That's true.
But wait a second. There's a person in the tree.
How is there a person in the tree? This is not Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I know. It's so weird. And especially when Tina's like, this probably can't get any weirder. And Todd's like, this is only my second case, but yeah, it'll probably get weirder. And oh, how wrong you are for it not getting weirder, because there's a person in the tree.
There's a dead person in the tree. It's like a skeleton. It's not like a living person.
Right.
It's just sort of a skeleton there, and it's...
And Dirk thinks he solved the case, because he's like, could he have eaten some tree seeds and fell asleep? And they're all like, no, Dirk.
No.
And they figure out it's a man. I don't know how Fair is figuring this out by, knuckles, but okay. And they're like, oh, it's the Cardenas guy. And then suddenly Dirk's like, yes, I've solved it. The Cardenas. This is the dad, that was the mom, and... Well, they probably had a kid. And that's it. So the boy I'm supposed to find is their kid. So I've done it, right? And they're like, you didn't solve anything.
You did nothing.
And he's like, just let me have this moment. As he's hugging Todd and Hobbs. It's like, what? Why did you think this was, like, totally fine? This is so weird. But whatever. So we're back to Friedkin waking up in his bed. And Priest is sitting there, Mr. Priest. And he's like, listen, you shouldn't be starving them and going in there without a weapon. And they're like, Friedkin, I didn't know. It's like, you need to feed them, people. And he's like, I can't do that. I can't give them anybody and have them feel what I just felt because that was horrible. And he's like, well, kid, you do what you got to do, but that's what you got to do. And he's like, they bring me in to do stuff that nobody wants to do. And he sounds all crazy, and I'm like, oh, Lord.
Yeah, he's definitely playing that up.
Yes. I love it. Even with, like, the weird, just, like, he raises his eyebrow just a little and kind of does a weird laugh, kind of.
Right.
Oh, it was great. Oh, okay. Well, the very end of the episode, which was, we're back with Susie's family. So we have Susie's kid in the car smoking a joint and suddenly hits somebody. And then it turns out it was Trost because he gets up with his pink hair in the real world and runs off. And the kid kind of looks at him, looks at the joint, looks at the car. It's like, did that happen? And we're back with Susie then, because that was it with the kid. So now we know Trost is in this reality.
Mm-hmm, somehow.
Susie ends up using the wand on her husband because he's being a jerk. And then did something who I'm very not cool with. Because all of a sudden she's like, go take care of that dog. And then everything is silent. The dog stops barking. We don't hear anything. I'm like, did she kill the dog? Did she have him kill the dog? That is not cool.
No.
What did you do? Because I'm not cool with that.
It's not the dog's fault. You guys are all a-holes.
I was not cool. So I'm very upset if that's what happened, which I'm assuming that's what they're implying. Everything was off screen. I'm not happy.
Well, no, you know what it reminded me of is our Preacher podcast where it's like, oh, here's a bunch of dogs for Cassidy. And I'm like, no, just kill people. I would rather you kill people than dogs.
I don't
like people half as much as I like dogs.
Right? Oh, I was not happy with that. So I guess it's to be determined because Fade to Black. And that's the end of season 2. So what does that mean? What is happening? They've solved the case, kind of.
They've solved part of a case.
But they have a whole new case. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Where's the child? What happened to the kid? Who is the boy?
Yeah.
There's so much more that we need to know. And what caused the 67? That seems like it has to be a big thing. Suddenly this big electrical pulse.
Right, a giant power surge from nowhere.
I kind of feel like it might be connected somehow with season 1, because I don't remember when he was traveling and if it caused anything.
That might be interesting.
It might be. Who knows? Maybe it is all connected. Well, we hope you guys are really enjoying the season so far. I know it's only 2 episodes in, but oh my gosh, weirdness abounds.
Mm-hmm.
A gun with no moving parts. How is that possible? And it's not a water gun. So, what do you guys think? We want to hear your theories on what's going on. So send us an email. You can send it to contact us at sci-fi. No, it's not Sci-Fi Talk.
We're not Sci-Fi Talk.
That's the other show. Contact us at Fangirl Zone, Sean at Fangirl Zone, or Jess at Fangirl Zone, and we will read your email on air. And you can also send us any artwork. We can put it up on the website. We can also, if you guys are putting fanfic out there.
Yes, we're absolutely willing to read your fanfic, and if you're comfortable with it, obviously having discussed it with you first, we are willing to talk about it on air. If you're comfortable. If you're not, just hit us up, we'll read it, and then we'll email you back, and then we can pretend it never happened. Whatever you want. Or
we can put a link to it if you'd like. Alright, so for this episode of Fangirl Zone and the second episode of the second season of Dirk Gently, I am Sean, Fangirl S.
And Jess.
And until next time.